Help. I need somebody.
Help. You just quoted the Beatles.
I did. Yeah.
Help.
Yeah.
I need
For
somebody.
you, Dad. For you.
Not
to get
just
the
anybody help. I need someone. Help.
Oh, I need someone. I might have gotten the lyrics wrong.
No, you got the first part right. I just continued to moan.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Good. I know there's several Beatles fans that tune in, so I would hate to.
If I had known you were going to do that, I would have brought my Beatle hoodie.
Yeah, we are talking about 5 reasons why healthy churches seek outside help. So this is a church that's doing well that says, you know what, we still want to seek outside help. We've done that at West Bradenton. I proactively seek outside help about every other year with a consultant. I'm bringing somebody in to teach me something. So even when you are in a healthy place, it is good to get a set of outside eyes. And we're going to be talking about that today. 5 reasons healthy churches seek outside help. Before we jump into the episode, I want to thank Rooted, who has been sponsoring the episodes of Rainer on Leadership for quite some time. They have a great curriculum. They have a great way to launch new groups. They have a great way to get connected, people connected in your church. They have a great way to build a discipleship strategy and culture in your church. And it's all called the Rooted Experience. If all of that sounds good to you, and if you've ever struggled with just like, what curriculum do we use? What should our small groups use? How do we launch new groups? How do I multiply what is good in my church? Rooted is your answer. So experiencerooted.com/church answers is where you can go to learn more. It's where you can get some free resources as well as understand what this new curriculum is. So that's experiencerooted.com/church answers. Thank you, Mariners Church, Eric Geiger, Earl Robertson, Michael Kelly.
Great team. Just
good
all
team.
Of them, all of them are a great team. And get some help for your discipleship culture. You need someone. Help. Not just anyone. Help. And hey, before going further, I just want to give a shout out to Mike Stottlemyre and Church Growth Services. And the reason is we get all kinds of inquiries. How do we raise money in the church? How do we raise money for a new building, for a renovation, for a debt repayment? And the list goes on. And Church Growth Services has the longest ongoing tenure of any stewardship firm for churches in the United States because they are among the best. And one thing you can get from them, you can see it in the show notes, it's a free campaign calculator, and you can get an idea of how much money you can raise. So a big shout out to Church Growth Services. If you need raising money help, if you need someone help, not just anyone help, Church Growth Services.
So I started it all, so I can't say anything. Healthy churches understand that God's kingdom is larger than their particular church, and they grasp that they can gain valuable insights that they would otherwise not have from outside sources. So let's just set this up to say outside eyes are always a good perspective to have, and the only way you're going to get an outside perspective is to ask for that help. To give you an example, this was, I don't know, probably about 4 years ago now. We knew at West Bradenton that we were lacking in the human resource department. And we actually have a couple of church members who are very skilled. They work for human resource departments of very large companies. Let me just say that. And I sought out their help. And they gave me some good advice. And I said, well, can you do this for us? I mean, we'll pay you or whatever. I know you're a member. And they said, absolutely not. We are not getting into the underbelly of the church. And I was like, please. And I begged them. And they're like, you're so good at what you do. You do this for big companies. I mean, you're an executive. We actually have 3 human resource executives at my church. Let me put it that way.
Wow.
And all of them, one of them is he's actually on our personnel committee now. He is helping. But they were all like, no, we're not. You go hire somebody else. We are internal. You do not need us doing this, even though we are knowledgeable. It is much better for you to get completely outside perspective. And we did. We went and hired a human resource expert. He did a phenomenal job with our church. And we have a new personnel manual because of it. We have a new staff structure because of it. I got an executive pastor out of it who's really good. So I am very grateful that we hire. Now, I'm supposed to be one of the quote unquote church experts, have a podcast on this stuff, but I'm hiring outside experts.
Right.
I do consultations. That's part of what we do at Church Answers is we do consulting, but I'm still hiring consultants and I still have my own coaches. So outside eyes are always helpful.
So, and on a smaller scale, more informal scale, your brother Jess said, "Dad, I want you to leave." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I want you to go to the parking lot and be a greeter. I want you to leave the building and be a parking lot greeter. I know we need it. We don't have one. We have a good greeter team, but nobody's out there." Here's what I found. This is outside eyes. I found that on the average, 1.5 cars leave the church parking lot because they cannot find a convenient spot, even though there are other convenient spots, and even though there's good signage. If it's not there, they're barely coming in.
Who's driving half a car?
Well, it's 2 cars.
It's like a clown. Is it like a clown car?
Two cars every 3 weeks. You know what I'm talking about. And those cars, because it's a younger area, tend to have around 4 people. So what I'm saying is around 6, maybe 7, maybe 8 people every week would not come to the church if they're wanting a outside parking lot attendant or greeter, telling them, "Hey, there's a parking spot right there." And how do I know that? I saw them leave before I became the parking lot attendant, because your mother goes to 2 services, the same service, just like she watches you on your service, usually twice a week. She goes to your brother's service. She goes to the 9 and she goes to 10:30. I ain't listening to y'all twice. So I go to the parking lot and I watched and I said, "Guess what's happening?" He said, "Well, get out there and figure it out." That's an outside eyes.
So not only is it good to bring in outsiders into the inside, and we do that a lot at Church Answers. We do coaching. That's our platinum group. Link to that in the show notes. We do consulting. We'll put a link in the show notes to our consulting work. So if you're seeking outside help, hey, reach out to us. We would be glad to help you. We've been doing that. Dad, you've been doing this since 1988.
Oh, yeah.
I believe.
Old. Hey, just another word. We're doing more formal relationships now with networks and partnerships. And so they're seeking outside help for their churches. And so we're arranging things where they're getting special arrangements for resources. We're partnering with them. It is a win-win-win. So if you're a part of a denomination or a network that has a group of churches and you want to connect with us so that we can provide you resources at the best possible arrangement ever, contact us. We're continuing to build those resources because denominations, networks, everybody can benefit from outside help, but especially churches.
I do just as much consulting with denominations and networks now as I do with individual churches.
Mm-hmm.
So we help, and we do expert witness testimony.
We're in the midst of it right now.
We've helped other nonprofits, not just church related stuff, but other nonprofits. So we're more than glad to help out and be those outside eyes for you. Now, not only is it good to bring outside eyes in, it's also good to send your people out. And what I mean by that is there are events where people can be developed. This is something that I like to do, Dad. When I find a volunteer that's really going above and beyond, like borderline, we should pay you part-time. You're here so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
That person.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that person is like, I would never think of the church paying me. I love what I do. We have people that just show up and they're like, how can I help today? They're there when the office opens and they're like, what can I do? And I love people like that. So, what I like to do for them is to say, we've got some things, we'd like to send you to a conference or something to where you can be developed or ministered to. It could be something they pick. It could be something you pick for them. If somebody is doing that much work at the church, and they're like, don't pay me. I'm going to be here 15, 20 hours a week. I just love being here. What you can do for that person is to have the church pay for them to go to some event or some conference or something where they themselves can be developed. Or, it might be, that you invest in them through not only our platinum group, but also my church staff as well. That's another way to train this person up to be a staff person at your church, even if they don't want to be paid for it. We actually have a mechanism for that too. So you can invest in them through my church.
That costs the church $100 a month. So it's very, very affordable. And it's basically, I'm adding a part-time staff person to my church through extensive training and coaching by someone at Church Answers who's an expert in that area. Our two areas right now are stewardship and hospitality.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that. Those are the two roles that we have. So it's good to bring eyes in. It's good to send your own people out. And healthy churches understand the benefit that skilled experts bring in a specific area that might not otherwise be available. So I'm thinking of like technology. I'm thinking of like nuances of music. We will, we have skilled musicians, we have skilled people in the area of technology at my church, but they may not know everything, right? So you bring in somebody who is very, very knowledgeable in a specific area. We just recently did this within the last 30 days, at least at the time of this recording. And without getting into all the technical gobbledygook, the speakers at our church, the worship space speakers, are not where we want them to be. I'll just say that. So our tech team is like, trying to figure out the best mixes and all that stuff. So we bring in somebody and they're like walking us through the best ways to do this. We actually can end up getting new speakers because they're just not working. It wasn't our tech team's fault. It was the speaker's fault. But we would have never known that had we not brought in a true technical expert. So there are times to bring in somebody for finances, for technology, for groups or whatever it is, and to bring that highly technical knowledge to the church.
And that is why I mentioned Church Growth Services at the beginning, because they are that outside expert that knows about fundraising that none of us do because they've done it for so long. So that's just one example among many.
Yeah, it's a good way to get out of the rut as well. If you so the way we've always done it, I think, is it the 7 most dangerous words a church can say?
We've never done it that way before.
We've never done it that way before. I was trying to do the math in my head with the words as I was saying them, and it's just not coming out the right way. But here's the thing. If something works and it's actually developing your people, you want to repeat that, right? So you're a healthy church. You're doing well. You've got your methods of doing things. We have programming at West Braden. I love our program. It's Sundays and Wednesdays, Sunday morning, Wednesday night. And it just works well. People love it. Our Wednesday nights are booming even faster than Sunday mornings because, we just got good programming. Now, here's the issue with that. Man, are we going to be doing the same thing that we're doing now in 20 years? Probably not. So how do you know? Like, it's really working for us. Status quo is good when it's discipling your people. But how do you know when status quo becomes a rut and it's actually getting you stuck?
Outside eyes.
Outside eyes. That's the only way you're ever going to know. Now, you can see it in the numbers sometimes. Hey, we're not baptizing as many. We're not having as many in attendance. We're not developing as many leaders. Our groups numbers are down. I mean, there's some signs there. But, when we're talking about healthy churches, we're talking about churches that are growing. Well, it's easy to go, well, this works. We're just going to keep doing it. And it may be that you should, but it's always wise to bring in those outside eyes. And that's why I am at West Bradenton once a year or every other year. We're bringing in somebody to look at something. Our worship experience is great. Honestly, we don't have any real complaints about it, but we knew something wasn't quite right with the sound. And so we brought in a technical expert and he goes, oh, yeah, I know exactly what's going on here. And our tech team was like, praise the Lord. We finally have an answer to this thing that's been bugging us. And it energizes them. They're actually excited about, some of the new equipment. We actually had somebody have donated some equipment, and it's what we need. Well, everything was fine. We're growing. It's good. But now we're going to be that much better because we brought in somebody from the outside.
I want to bring in this note too. I don't know how many people you have coached, Sam. You don't know how many people you have coached. It's in the thousands probably when it's all said and done, the different ways we do coaching. But you are currently being coached. You're in a formal coaching program for a year. You're paying good money for it, and it's developing you. So this is a guy that coaches, Sam. This is a guy that coaches dozens upon dozens, hundreds upon hundreds over cumulative years, and he's receiving coaching. So
yeah, it's making me rethink our pricing structure. I'll say that because they're way more expensive than what we are.
and we're better. Oh well.
I don't know about that. That may be their argument is we're better than you, Sam. But that's why you've sought us out for outside eyes. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, I have a coach right now that's helping me through any number of things, and I'm very grateful for my coach. And actually, my coach is younger than me.
That's good too.
I
That's good
know.
too. Hey, you know this many years ago when I was more platform centered as opposed to organization centered, I went to Michael Hyatt and I said, Michael, I need you to coach me. He said, okay. He said, here's the charge. I said, okay, I'm ready. And
So
invaluable help.
yeah,
Invaluable help.
yeah, I remember you talking about what he did. And yeah, find a good coach that it's well worth the investment. Last thing, and I'll say this: healthy churches create a culture where their members are open minded to new approaches. So, okay, how do you get your church to a place, even if your church is doing well and your people are in a healthy spot? How do you get them to be open to doing things differently? Obviously, we're not talking about biblical compromise or theological compromise, but how do you get them, you know, willing to embrace new ideas? And it's that outside eyes that you bring in that can help them see what they would otherwise not see. And they can say things, these outside people can say things in ways that you can't as a pastor or leader in your church. I was just on a call right prior to this. I've had several calls today, and I was working with a church on some demographic stuff. And I know that the pastor that was in the room with this group of people, I know that he has told them everything that I told them and is probably more knowledgeable than me and probably said it better than me. But because it's me and because I'm an
Outsider.
outsider, they go,
Right.
oh, I don't know that we've ever heard that before.
And the
And
pastor's going,
the
don't,
pastor's
don't,
over there
don't.
going, I have been telling you this for years. But that's just the nature of outside eyes. It does bring a fresh perspective. So sometimes it's good to bring in people to say the exact same things that you've been saying, but because it's an outsider, people are more inclined to accept it. You may say, well, that stinks. Well,
Well,
it's reality.
you've been a parent for what, 14 years, 14 plus years?
Yep.
And how many times do our kids come in and say, let me tell you what I learned?
guess
Uh,
guess
I,
what?
yes.
Okay,
Hey,
where did
Dad's
you hear
been
that
talking about that for
first?
a long time.
Yeah, certainly the case. And it's the case for churches too. So, we've been talking a little bit about what we do at Church Answers, and I do hope people, those of you who are tuning in, look us up, whether it be coaching with our platinum group, consultations, whether you're a denomination or a local church.
I like
Um,
your demographic consultation. That is proving very valuable, where you get to know your community report because you created that report along with the Esri data. You know that backwards and forwards, and you work with the church and say, have you considered this on your demographics?
Yeah, it's one of our more inexpensive consultations, and it's universally well received. People just love the knowledge that they get from the demographic report, and having me walk through it with either an individual or a group of people. It's been well received. So if that interests you, yeah, check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes to the demographic stuff too. A lot of links in the show notes, but you should go click on them, and you should also check out Upward. Upward Sports is the largest Christian youth sports organization on the planet, but they also do adults too with running now. They've got pickleball. So they're adding pickleball.
Have you ever played pickleball?
I have. Yeah.
I haven't.
It's fun. It's a very fun sport. It's very, very popular here in Florida. I
Oh, I
mean,
know. It's very popular wherever there's aged people.
the park systems in Florida, which I'm so grateful for. We have amazing state parks, state forests, local parks, county parks. I mean, I'm very proud of the way our government does these public spaces in Florida, and we have a ton
You do.
of pickleball courts. They are everywhere, and all of them are full all the time. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? You need to go check out Upward because they have a pickleball program. It's very exciting news. It's now available. It's perfect for really any age, but middle schoolers and high schoolers, this is a really good way to get them engaged. It's an easy setup. It's an easy program to run, and Upward just it's all right there for you. So if you're like, ooh, okay, this sounds good. How do I do it? Call Upward.
Call 'em.
They will. This is the benefit of Upward. They will walk you through everything. So schedule that call. Ask them about schedule the call and ask them about pickleball. How about that?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all, schedule the call.
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Upward and pickleball.
I'm
So
not
go
going to
to,
rhyme anymore.
I know. I got to stop. Upward.org/church answers. Again, upward.org/church answers. They've got other programs as well. If you're like pickleball, I don't know, but they've got all the others too. So,
Absolutely.
Running, baseball, basketball,
Softball, basketball.
cheerleading. Yeah,
Yes.
they've got it all, including pickleball. Upward.org/
I'm not playing along anymore.
Church answers. Hey, we won't rhyme as much on the next episode. And if you do need help, reach out to somebody. Help.
We won't do Beatles as much as we did on the next episode either.
Hey, give us a thumbs up on the YouTubers and rate, review, and subscribe in your favorite podcasting app. We'll be back soon. Another episode.